Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Every experience has three components: the experiencer, the experienced world, and the experience. And unless we have complete and correct information about who is the experiencer, what is experienced, and what is the anatomy of experience, unless all these three factors are fully investigated, our conclusion about life will be incomplete. Normally, we hear this kind of statements: the world is too much for me, or why there is so much of misery in this world, why God has created such a horrible world, why me? These are the common comments about life, and it becomes as if we are responsible for their miseries. You know, I feel the highest jokes in this world when the married people come to us to solve the problems of their marriage. Isn't it? If you go to another married person, he can make you more confused, with authority. So, first of all, why did you get married? Many times they say, Swamiji, my son or daughter is getting married, you please come and bless them. So I said, now I can't do anything. I can advise them and bless them before marriage. After marriage, pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, save yourself from one miserable couple again coming. See? You know why this happens? This happens because we never spend any time on these issues. See? What is worthy of knowing in this world is not how many marriages an actor has done. See, he is after all an actor. He can marry 100 times. He is only acting. He is not married. And therefore they are happy. You people get married and don't act, react. So you are all reactionaries and therefore suffer. So these are the three areas: the world, that is experience, the experiencer, and what is the experience? Three. Now, when any system exists, there has to be a controller. Like the cricket match. One is a fielding team, other is a batting team, and there is a third component called as the umpire. And who is the umpire? He does not appreciate when you do the things correctly, but he is very prompt to find out no ball, wide ball, isn't it? LBW, out, 4, 6, that he will tell. But if you bowl properly, if you hit properly, if he is a good sixer, he will not say, hey, well done, come on, 6. No. Like a dead statue, he will simply raise the hand with great pain in his back. So the cricket match becomes valuable and valid only if there is a third party who is unbiased. In the same manner, this game of life that is going on, these are the two parties, two teams. One is the world, and second is we all who are playing the game of life. And in this, world is always bowling and we are always batting. A bowler is never out, isn't it? It is a batsman who is out. And in this manner, this match is going on. And the one who is controlling, giving the judgment, remember, giving the judgment, not the justice, like our Indian judiciary, isn't it? Indian judiciary talks only about the judgment, they never talk about justice. And no judgment is ever a justice. I was talking to the Chief Justice of India the other day in Delhi. So after all that, I said, I don't understand anything about justice or your thing. But simply tell me, you people are doing all good work and everything. What is that when the case is so important and everybody is waiting and you coolly say, the Chief Justice has reserved the judgment to be passed. Are you above everything or what? So there has to be proper justice, the one who is living in this world and in the world. Now, next step, to be known. What are the rules governing our existence in this world? And if we follow those rules, we are saved. And what are those rules? If we do not follow, we are shaved. So those rules are required to be known. All these things put together is the area of investigation in the science of life. See? And what we do in our material sciences, for example, if you take chemistry. Now we don't have to waste our time and energy in arguing on why zinc is called as Zn. There is no need, it is already there. Take that information and go ahead. Isn't it? We don't have to every day practice and prove the Newton's law. There is no need, it is already done. Take it and go ahead. In the same manner, in the spiritual science, all the experiments were already done by the great masters who lived in this world cheerfully and happily. So we take their data, we take their observations, we take their conclusions, adopt them in our life and live happily. See? What is the purpose of science? To make our life miserable? No. In the same manner, the purpose of the spiritual life is not to become miserable. And therefore, it is very necessary that we have all the data about it. And if we don't have the proper data, we will be missing the very joy of existence. And therefore, this 15th chapter of Gita, which we will be studying now, is a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all the Vedas. Now see the concentration you are going to face. All the Vedas are summarized in Bhagavad Gita, and the whole Bhagavad Gita is summarized in the 15th chapter. And if you study, understand, practice, there is no reason why you will not be able to celebrate the life that you are in. We are not created by the Lord to make us suffer in this world. And therefore, whenever we want to study something, few qualifications are required. First qualification, we have to be committed to study and learn. Normally what happens, when we come to the spiritual path, for everything we understand, we have to do this, we have to do that, etc. But when it comes to the study of Gita, so our legs go on the table and we are sitting in the chair. Left hand is holding a cup of tea, wow, and the right hand is having a book in the hand, and then with a pakoda in the mouth. Let us tell you what Gita tells. Nothing will happen. And then beginning. What is that? Why damn this Gita is in Sanskrit? Why couldn't they speak in English? So instead of studying, we start commenting and criticizing. First. Second thing, if we really want to be benefited by the study, what is important is we must absorb the knowledge and go on deeply contemplating, reflecting on that. You know what happens normally? Whenever we take food and if it is not digested and we get food poisoning, what happens? It is thrown out as a vomit. This happens with every knowledge. The other day I was called in somebody's house, a Sindhi house. Normally Sindhis are having allergy for music. I have not come across a Sindhi, a good singer, like Pandit Jasraj or Bhimsen Joshi. A Sindhi is never a singer like that. So I was called to their house and there was some time. I said, Amma, jaldi khilao, I am very hungry. Swamiji, give me 10 minutes. I said, all right. During that 10 minutes, my friend, he brought a harmonium and kept it on a dining table. I said, Prabhu, I don't play harmonium and I want to eat. No, Swamiji, I know you don't play, but I know, I have recently learned. So I want you to hear. And the kawwalis ho gayi. Hame to loot liya, Ram Ram. See? Because recently learned, it must be brought out. And the same thing we teach our children. They learn one or two useless verses, and then anybody goes, the parents have to demonstrate that their children, in spite of being their children, are smart. So they tell, Swamiji, this Raju, he chants very good, Sanskrit shlokas. As if Sanskrit is the highest thing in the world. And then they say, come on, say something before Swamiji, I taught you. And that fellow goes on strike. No. And then the mother only chants, Tameva Mataja, Tameva Pitaja, Tameva. And they say, oh Swamiji, how nicely chanted. My question is, by whom? In short, whenever we have knowledge poisoning, it is vomited. The same thing happens when we study scriptures. Instead of studying, digesting, assimilating and growing spiritually, we hear something, we read something and hold the people by their collar and sit down and we start firing. See? And as a result, what happens? Hey, that Vedanta is coming, run! Nobody wants to be with us. Therefore, friends, it is necessary for all of us to know, the more spiritual we grow, the more silent we become. Deeper the waters, silent they are. Shallow is the water, too much noise is made. So when we will study this, kindly see that don't go and tell your children and grandchildren, you should come and learn. Swamiji is telling so good. Are you learning? Let us not change the topic. See? Many elderly people have got this funny notion. Our youth should know today's worst condition of our country is not made by the young people. It's all the oldies who have made the mess. So if somebody who is urgently required to be removed or corrected, our youth is the most wonderful in the whole world. But we elderly people have nothing to do, so condemn them one after another. So please remember, this is meant for us to digest and grow. Then Swamiji, we old people, we have no chance. No, you have. You are too early for the next life. So don't worry. Now keeping these few points in mind, we should jump into the study of this 15th chapter. So this being the summary, the gist of the whole knowledge that is contained in our scriptures as a science of life, we will be going very methodically and systematically. And you will see the topics that are brought out. First, the teacher brings about the topic, what do we mean by the world? When we say the world is too much for me, what do we mean by the word world? Second thing is, what is the scientific approach to relate ourselves with the world? Should we relate with the world the way we want? Or are there standard rules and regulations, laws laid down? If you follow those laws, you will not be electrocuted. What are those rules? That will be told. And then the teacher takes up that if you are able to follow these rules and live in this world that we have defined, the guarantee is you will be ever cheerful and happy. There is a guarantee. And it is not a half a day guarantee or 1 year guarantee. It is a life guarantee. Either you live or we live. Thereafter, the teacher takes the second theme. When we are all the time worried, frustrated about our life, instead of getting frustrated and worried, let us find out, who are we? When Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi used to be approached by the people and complain, people never go to Mahatmas to know about the truth. And therefore Mahatmas never talk the truth. Because they don't want to know. And they will say, Maharaj, I am so miserable because of my wife, because of my son, because of my daughter-in-law, because of my mother-in-law. Now what the Mahatma will do? Today one young girl came and ate my head after lunch. And finally I heard her about half an hour. I said, I have heard everything, now you cut it short. I already given you half an hour of my sleep. So I was hearing her sleeping away. I said, you keep talking early. Then I said, I don't think it will stop. Now you tell me, what do you expect me to do? Tell me. Do you want me to tell your mother-in-law to change? Where gods have failed, we will also fail. Mother-in-law is a species which cannot be corrected. It is the creator's mistake. It cannot be corrected. Second thing, if you want your husband is stupid and he should change, I agree with you. He is stupid. Or else why will he marry you? He would have found someone better. And who are the stupid people? They never change. So that is gone. Third thing, your job condition, this thing, that thing, I said, I cannot provide you with a job. Now what I can do is that you decide, and it is your decision that you have to live in your life. See? On the contrary, if you take the approach of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, he is to ask, who is miserable? Who is miserable? So, I mean, you are pulling my leg. No, I am not pulling. I am pushing you towards the reality. Who are you who is miserable? So the moment you start this inquiry, you will come to a point that you are a miserable was a strong lie. You cannot be miserable. See? Miseries may be created by wife, husband, in-law, outlaw. But we are miserable by option. We are not miserable because of God, because of anybody. So who is this I? That is the inquiry. And now this I that I consider myself to be, what is the life history of this I? The whole biography of every one of us is given in a most beautiful manner. And when you correctly understand the meaning of this I, then what is your experience? See? It's all only understanding what makes all the difference. And to come to that, where do I search that wonderful happiness? Then we are told, go within. Don't run outside. And when you start going within, you come to discover you are the source of all the bliss in this world. And you are the one who is the creator of all the blisters in this world. And the day you discover your correct identity, all problems are solved. This is the complete scheme of thought in this 15th chapter. And once you get this whole picture distinctly clear, open the bonnet, check the point, take a stone from the road, hit it, put the bonnet down and start your vehicle and lead the life cheerfully and happily. Therefore, the 15th chapter begins to define what is the meaning of the world. Normally, when we talk about the world, the definition of the world differs according to who is defining. If it is the politicians, they have got a different definition of the word world. What is world? World is a place where you can take the voters for a ride. Is called as world. If you ask a wife what is a world, a place where a miserable creature nagging around is always hanging around, is called as a world. See? If you ask the mother what is the world, it is a tragic place where children are a big problem. So all of us have got different definitions of world. Now what is the scientific definition of world? Bhagavan says in the first verse of this 15th chapter, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Urdhva Moola Madashakam Ashwatham Prahuravayam Chandamsi Yasya Paranani Yastam Veda Savedavit. Now in this cryptic verse of 24 alphabets, the whole knowledge about the world is cramped. Super SMS. You know what is SMS language? Where the spellings are abbreviated to such an extent that one day I received an SMS. I opened it, blank. So I forwarded, blank. Again 2-3 times. Now you got it. What is that? Again, next step. You are an April Fool. In the same manner. So much of knowledge contained in little words. So what is that? Urdhva Moola Madhashakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam. This world is called as Ashwatha. Ashwatham is a peepal tree, or in the biblical language as a fig tree. And it is such a scientific simile given to the world. There are many aspects about this one word. A fig tree, it is a tree. And what is the tree? It is a perennial existence. Unlike the crops of your wheat or rice. Wheat or rice, they fructify once and they die on their own death. But if you take a mango tree or any big tree or a banyan tree, it will not die. So, it is called as vriksha because you require to cut it, and even then it is difficult to stop it growing. Therefore, this whole world is called as a tree. It will not disappear on its own unless you put forward the efforts. And what is the effort? Cutting it into pieces. And when you want to cut something, you have to have commitment, strength and the will to do the things. Otherwise, you take the axe in the hand and want to cut that tree as if you are hitting that jalataranga. Isn't it? That tree will not cut. So this is the meaning of the world. So if you want to deal with the world, be strong enough. I'll tell you one example. Today, one boy came to meet me, young boy, I know him for so many years. And last year he got married. And suddenly his wife found small little thing, walked out of the house. No reason, no nothing. Then afterwards, his parents came. And with one or the other excuse, took all her belongings, everything and went. And now, I don't want to come to that house and like that. So this boy was crying. I said, look here my friend, don't cry for a girl. Don't become a doormat. Be always in a winning position. She has gone out and she is happily living. And you, a man, crying like a woman? Stop that. I said, now you take a lead. You tell her, you need not return back. I asked him first. I said, what about your property? In whose name it is? He said, Swami, it is in my parents' name. I said, now don't worry. Give her a big kick and celebrate your life. Friends, please remember, never become miserable in this world because of anybody. Then only you can live in this world. We become doormats and complain, everybody comes and wipes his shoes to my face. What should I do? Why you have become a doormat? Take a strong position in life. And who can take that? He who has the inner strength. How we develop, we will come across subsequently. Therefore, if you have to deal with the world, be a strong person. Because it is not a plant, it is a tree. Otherwise, I tell you, throughout your life, you will keep on crying. Earlier, because of the parents. Then, because of the wife or the husband. Then, because of the in-laws or the outlaws. Then, because of your children. Then, because of your grandchildren. And all your crying, you come and offer on our feet. Swamiji, Pada Puja. You know, I never allow that dhanda to be done with my feet. So they say, Swamiji, why don't you allow? I said, I want to protect my feet. See, please remember, lead a life with commitment and cheer. There is none in this world worthy to cry for. Be strong enough. Then only we are understanding what the world is. Otherwise, all the time, I mean, your husband is like this, I mean, your wife is like that. So what do you want me to do? Come with a dholak? Suru ho ja. Useless. Please remember, you know, many people have that funny notion that when we go and cry, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati and tissue paper. See, no. Upanishad tells, Nayamatma balahine na labhyaha. This world is not for the cowards and the dropouts. See? Asanga shastrena drudhena chitva. So the first aspect about the world, it is a tree, very strong. So you have to be doubly strong if you want to survive in this world cheerfully and happily. Always take a winning mode. Never take a losing mode. Be very strong. Otherwise, this world will crush. Survival of the now you decide whether you are a F for fit or F for fool. You decide. Now, the second meaning of the word is Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha means what? That which does not remain the same tomorrow. Means Ashwatha. Which is constantly changing. Those who are not ready to accept the coming changes in life, they keep on dragging in the past. See? And such people, they stink. Just imagine. Suppose you are dead and you are carrying your own dead body on your back and you go in a place. How dirty and bad it will smell. Exactly this is what we do. All the time talking about the past, talking about the past. I was like this, nobody wants to know about our past. They are worried about their future. Isn't it? Who wants to know about our past? But we have nothing to talk about. See? Therefore, Ashwatha, everything is going to change. And if you don't accept the changes, you will be buried, wiped away from the world. I tell you, there were Mahatmas initially, they used to condemn us when we used to talk in English, when we used to have the modern things around, or this is, destroying our culture and all that. Ladies are chanting Om, gents don't want to chant. What will happen to the poor Om? Have you ever thought about it? And this is how going on. Now the same Mahatmas who were condemning this English language, now they want to translate their Hindi books into English. Isn't it? Friends, please remember, we have to adapt ourselves according to the modern times. If we cannot, you will be wiped out. Because this is the nature of the world. If you have seen somewhere, they keep the guards for the trees so that the trees are protected from the animals or the people. Now when the tree grows, there is no provision to remove that guard after it is over. Like, there is no provision. After you vote a person and if he is elected, there is no provision that you can remove him. In the same manner, that guard is put there, no provision, it remains there. As the trees start growing slowly, if it is not removed, that steel guard is eaten away by the tree. See? In the same manner, if we don't change, we will be eaten away by the changes around us. Second meaning of Ashwatha, the world. Now the third. Ashvavat Tishtati, the one which is constantly unsteady and vibrant like the horse. A horse will never stand like a donkey. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. No. Is always alert and constantly vibrant. In the same manner, this world is always constantly vibrating. And therefore, you have to match with the speed. Otherwise, you will remain outdated. 3 meanings. Now, the fourth most important meaning. The peculiarity of the fig trees is If you take the seeds of the fig trees and sow them, they never germinate. But when the fruits are eaten by the birds and the seeds are processed through the GI tract of the bird and is excreted in the excreta, then that processed seed alone has the capacity to germinate. And that is why you will see all the peepal trees and banyan trees, you will find them in a place where nobody can go and plant it. In one place somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, I saw such a wonderful sight. On electric post, cement electric post, on the top of that, there was one peepal tree growing. Now who has planted it there? So some birdie must have gone there and done the job. And that was the act of sowing. There were, this happened in London, Penzance. It's a very beautiful sight. And there are lots of seagulls there. Like we have got kabutars, like that seagulls. And constantly making noise. And once I was walking, I understand the language of the birds. So, one of the, Britishers are very particular about cleaning their car and houses and all that. They are not like Americans, they make mess everywhere. So, they will clean and all that. So, one day morning, one person was cleaning the car nicely. Seagull mother and seagull baby, they were sitting on the top of the house. And the seagull baby asked the seagull mummy, "Mummy, shall we?" Mummy said, "No, not now." Then let him complete. Isn't it? So, when the seeds are eaten, processed through the consciousness of the living bird, then alone they germinate. In the same manner, be very attentive. A dead person does not have the world's existence. See, when a dead body is lying, only inert, whether you put the garlands or you put the shoes, it makes no difference. So wherever there is life, there alone the world is. If the life is miserable, he will look at the world. What is there to live in this world for? Hindi cinema, जी के क्या करेंगे? And you know the surprising, such people don't die. They have to sing the songs. Ashwatham. So these are the 4 aspects about what the world is. 1. Now second. Urdhvamulam adhashakam. Urdhva means cause. Adha means effect. See? Cause is always superior than the effect. Without the cause, effect cannot exist. But without the effect, the cause can exist independent of the effect. See? If this is clear, Urdhvamulam, the root, the basic cause of the whole world is far above the world. Like the gold is far above the names and the forms of the ornaments. Whether you make a wedding ring out of the gold doesn't feel tickling wedding ring. No. Or if you make a divorce ring out of the gold, is there a divorce ring? I don't know. I know only one thing, that there is suffering, whether this way or that way. So if you put anything in that gold in any form, it makes no difference. Therefore, the first principle about the world is the cause of this world is unaffected by the world. Now see, you are the cause of your children, is it not? Yes. And if you are really the cause, you should not be affected by your children. Swamiji, you try to be mother and father and then you will understand. No, cry very nicely. Which rag you like? Kali 4 ya 5? Don't justify your being miserable because of anybody in this world. Don't justify. Laugh at the misery. Misery will disappear. But then what to do with the misery? Make others miserable. You don't become miserable. Very important. So, urdhvamulam. If you really claim that I am the mother, I am the father, and cry because of your children, you are not worthy of calling mother and father. Take an example. I am called as Swami, and you are the Grahasthas. Maybe ex-Grahasthas or to be Grahasthas, different categories. Now, if you come and talk to me, Swamiji, I am so fed up because of my wife. Do something. Please help me. Suggest something. I am really in a mess. You start crying. And I compete with you. I am also feeling very bad. You are miserable because you have a wife. I tell you to be very frankly, I am miserable because I don't have a wife. What you will say? Remove your Swami clothes and join with me. Isn't it? If you claim to be elders, grown-ups, you have lost your right to be miserable. Gatasuna gatasuscha nanu chochanti pandita. To talk wise and to behave like a fool. Are we suffering from Arjunitis or what? Many people have that, undigested knowledge coming as a vomit. As regards others are concerned, they are excellent advisors. As regards their own life is concerned, it is in a mess. See? Wisdom made freely available for others is philosophy. And philosophy practice in one's own life is wisdom. So, urdhvamulam, adhashakam, adam is the effect. The second stage. So this whole world, now come to the conclusion. The whole world is the expansion of the absolute. And what will be the expansion of the absolute? Only one. And that is relative. What will be the expansion of the space? Think. Space cannot be expanded. Yes, we can. How? We name east, west, north, south. So what we have done? On that space, we have superimposed relative existence in terms of relation to each other. So what is the east? You don't know east? No, we don't know. You see, eastern world, western world, oh, that way. In the eastern world, there is never a sunset. In the western world, there is never a sunrise. Not like that. What is east? Where the sun rises. Where the sun rises to the east. So east is because of the sun, or sun is because of the east. In relation to each other. So, the expansion of the absolute is nothing but relative. And in the relative world, there cannot be absolute happiness. Isn't it? What is the relative word? Husband, wife. Relative, isn't it? Who is she? She is my relative. What are you trying? Trying to get absolute happiness from a relative fellow? Impossible. So, urdhvamulam adhashakam. The reality is absolute, but it has suffered relativity. And in this relative existence, what is the way of existence? There is a constant change. There is requirement of consciousness and matter coming together, and if you do not accept this thing, you will be crushed away. Urdhvamulam adhashakam ashvatham prahuravyayam. See? And wise people, prahu, call this world as avyayam. Avyayam, never changing. Now see the contradiction. This constantly changing phenomena of the world is a never changing phenomena. It has always been like this. Nothing new is ever created in this world. Many people have got this funny notion. Swamiji, when your Bhagwan Krishna is going to take the avatar, because there is no worse condition than this, how long it will take? So my reply is very simple. When the world was not like this, in the Satya Yuga, there used to be Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, terrible monsters. Then in Treta Yuga, there used to be Ravana Kumbhakarna and the whole of gang. And then in Dwapar Yuga, you are Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra. And in Kali Yuga, we are all there. When was there a time in this world when the world was not like this? See? And this is what we don't realize, understand. There is one girl who got married and delivered a baby. And I was watching the baby and all that. So the mother said, Swamiji, how sweet my daughter is. I said, it's okay. What can I do now? Swamiji, you don't have, love for the child. I said, do you know this dialogue? How sweet my child is was said by your grandmother, mother's mother, when your mother was born. How sweet the child is. During childhood, even the donkey's baby looks beautiful. Or rather, donkey's baby only looks beautiful. Thereafter, your mother grew. And then you were thrown in this world. She also said the same thing. How sweet my baby is. And now ask her, thank God, got married and headache over. Now this is the third generation of foolishness. How cute my baby is. Now this fellow will become bigger and you will become old and she will start teaching you, and then you will become angry and you will say, when you will become mother, then you will understand what I say. Isn't it? This is the only reason why the parents want the children to get married. It is a revenge. During childhood you had troubled us. Where will you go now? Get married, produce children, and we as the grandparents observe from a distance. Bajao tali, lagao. Ashvatham prahuravyayam. This has always happened. There is nothing new in this world. But we all imagine that, oh, this is too much, nothing. Once you understand this principle, you will play the game of life. And once you play the game of life, there is nothing to lose or nothing to win about. It is something like when you play with the children. So when you play with the children, you play, for example, carom, and you don't hit properly. So when the child sees that side, you take 2-3 foot inside. So when I was playing like this with one child, so I said, hey, see, somebody has come there. So the child is there. I take 2 and put in this. And there was one spiritual person sitting next to me. I am very much afraid of the spiritual fellows. I like normal human beings. So when that was happening, then after we played and all that, then that spiritual fellow said, Swamiji, I did not expect this thing from you. I said, it is your fault. What can I do? It is not my fault. No, but you are Swami, and you should be, believing in the truth. Satyameva jayate. You only teach us in the Upanishad. And here you are cheating. I said, yes, depending upon with whom you are dealing. See, please understand. When you are playing fool, you should not behave wise. Isn't it? But we play fool seriously. Hare Ram. Therefore, urdhvamoolam adashakam ashwatham prahuravayam chandamsi yasya paranani yastam veda savedavid. This has to be known, and he who knows this, he alone knows. Others are carrying the load of the whole world on their head. See? Can you imagine a picture of, what is his name, Hercules, with the globe on his head and a smile on his face? Impossible. It is only our Kanhaiya with a small ungli, without going to bathroom. Isn't it? 7 days in a row, he was holding the whole mountain in his one small finger. And for us, the moment this is shown, we are reminded, Arey, I could go. Therefore, friends, urdhvamoolam adashakam ashwatham prahuravyayam. Now, when you understand the whole world as this phenomena, please I tell you, stones and bricks and walls and buildings and cities and prosperity and shining and not shining, this is not the world. Now, next step, chandamsi yasya paranani. Of this world, chandamsi means the leaves of the Vedas. The mantras are called as chandas in Sanskrit. So this beautiful world is most beautiful when it has got the leaves of the scriptures. See, when the tree does not have flowers, it doesn't look ugly. If the tree doesn't have fruits, it doesn't look bad. But if the trees do not have any leaves, they look so dead. In the same manner, the beauty of a tree is in the leaves. The quality of the leaves determines the health of the tree. In the same manner, the quality of this whole world looks beautiful if the scriptures chandamsi yasya paranani, if they are beautifying and decorating the existence of this world. Chandamsi yasya paranani. Now what the scriptures do, what the Vedas do, please remember this very basic principle. Vedas are not the creation of human mind. These are the revealings or revelations to the great masters who have transcended the relative existence and were in tune with the absolute. That time, whatever knowledge was revealed to them, a compiled presentation is called as the Vedas. And therefore, no name is appended after each Veda written by Swami Anubhavananda. No. No. It is eternal knowledge. And this being eternal knowledge, it is valid for eternity. And it is not meant for a particular type of people, staying in a particular geographical location. No. It is meant for the total humanity. Like the physics, chemistry is meant for the total humanity. We cannot say physics is discovered by the Britishers and chemistry is discovered by the Americans and the softwares are discovered by the Indians. No. They are having a universal application in the same manner. Chandamsi yasya paranani. Now it is something like this. The traffic rules are made keeping in view whom? One particular community. The traffic rules are meant for the Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are meant for the Brahmachari, Grastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. They are meant for the ladies and the gents. No. They are meant for everybody. So everybody is kept in view so that those who will follow those rules, everybody will be protected in the same manner. Vedas are that knowledge which tells us what should be the lifestyle because of which our life does not become a burden to ourselves. Whenever our life becomes a burden to ourselves, we have gone the wrong way. And what is the reason? We have taken the life for granted. It is something like this, You buy a computer and you do not know the full usage of the computer. What are the possibilities that you can use it for? So what will happen? You have invested 100,000 rupees in that and you are not taking the work of even 100 rupees. Is it not a sheer wastage? In the same manner, the potentiality that we all have as a human being to live in this world is not even 2% utilized by us. 98% of our potentiality remains unused. What is the reason? Because for the tree of our life, there are no leaves of the scriptural injunctions. And we start imagining that life is lived to strengthen the personal likes and dislikes. No. Life is lived to loosen the impact of personal likes and dislikes. Then only we grow spiritually. But when we bypass all the traditions, all the culture, we don't want to sacrifice a little bit. All the time only I and mine, I and mine. We are playing fool with ourselves. Friends, please remember, in this world, if somebody can deceive somebody most, it is we who deceive ourselves the most. Nobody deceives anybody. Chandamsi yasya paranani. And therefore, this world will be most beautiful and is most beautiful for those whose life tree is having the leaves of the Vedas, the scriptures, the eternal knowledge. Whole Bhagavad Gita never mentions anywhere this knowledge is meant for Hindus. No. Anybody will do, not Hindu. Whosoever is interested in improving his quality of life, for him this knowledge is Chandamsi yasya paranani. And yaha tam veda sa vedavit. In this manner, he who knows. Now what he knows? Tam. Tam means what? Tam means that urdhvamulam, that original cause out of which the whole world of relativity has come out. He who knows that and also knows that relativity is nothing but a superimposed illusion on the absolute. And therefore, it is not wise to get disturbed by the relative experiences and get rooted in the absolute being. In this way, he who knows, he alone has known. Now see, in this world, there are two types of people who live, wise and otherwise. Both of them have got the same time scale. Both of them have got the same political structure. Both of them have got the same problems of the body, etc. There is no change. But the difference is, the wise lives happily and spreads happiness. The otherwise lives miserably and spreads miseries all around. See? Yaha tam veda, he who very much living in this world and yet uninfluenced by the world alone has known how to live life. Others have nothing except complaints. Complain about the husband, complain about the wife, complain about the children, complain about the daughter-in-laws or the mother-in-laws, and there is no end to that. So, urdhvamulamadasyakam ashvattam prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavit. Little more we go. Whenever we talk about cause and effect is a mechanism by which you are caught up in your own creation. See? Like, autoimmune system. You are caught up in your own creation. Is it not what we do? We only talk in terms of cause and effect. But why she is like that? Because you are like this. There is no reason. And the whole life is spent only on determining what is the cause, what is the effect. And as a result, we start arguing and we forget the basic element of love in our life. Friends, to live in this world, what is the most important thing? Please understand, cause and effect is an illusion. It is not the reality. But intelligent people, scientific minded people, always thinking and talking in terms of cause, effect. Whatever is discovered by the scientists is not the establishment of cause and effect, but it was already existing and covered under the influence of ignorance. So that cover is removed and therefore discovered. It is not created. It is not the effect of the scientist's investigation. See? Upanishad says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drishtaye. The truth is hidden by the golden lead of cause and effect. Now see what I mean. When you experience anything and stop at that experience without commenting, without projecting, without evaluating, without assessing, without labeling, without judging, without deciding, without the approach of utility, you are at that very moment one with the Absolute. But what happens? Every experience of ours is commented upon, and that commentary is nothing but cause and effect. What Bhagavan says, urdhvamulamadasyakam. This God is the creator and the world is the creation. No. God is the creator and the world is also the God. Don't look at the world as a field to enjoy, but look at the world as the manifestation of the divinity, and your whole approach to life will change. From the bhoga, you will enter the new area of yoga. This Tam Veda Sa Vedavid. He who is able to understand this, that our life in this planet is meant for attainment of bliss and divorce from the miseries. Alas, we are going the other way around. One of the SMS I told you probably last time, the things are to be used and people are to be loved. But the chaos that we have in this world is because we love the things and use the people. The moment we change our attitude, you will see the same world, which was a terrible thing for Vivekananda before he became Vivekananda. The same world became the most beautiful play of the Divine Mother. Yaha tam Veda sa Vedavid. He who knows this, he alone knows. Others are only pretending to live in the wisdom, but they are living only in self-destruction. Therefore, friends, the conclusion is, this world has always been like this. It is most beautiful. It is the expansion of the divinity. In and through this divine play, let us discover the divinity and join with it and celebrate life. He who is thus able to celebrate life, he alone has understood what is the meaning of the world. Otherwise, continuously crying and frustrated, no friends, that is not living life, that is living death. Let us not live death. The remaining portion we'll take in our tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.